the meeting to order here. We have a quorum, 4 board members in person, and Raid Alani on the phone. Proof of notice, it's been up since Sunday, as well as there's an email sent to the community for the movement of the date. And on the website, reading and disposal of the minutes. I had that in the slide deck package I had sent previously. Maria captured everything how I remembered it, so excellent job on that. And if there's no issues, anybody see any issues?
No.
So I'll make the motion to waive the reading of the minutes and accept as sent to the board members previously. Do I have a second?
Yep, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passes unanimously. Let's get into here. Good month, folks. That's a lot of green. So,
Lots of green.
yeah,
Excellent.
and I am like dying of this. I will get up here. So, for October, you can see income was flat, $200, and that was from late fee income, miscellaneous income stuff. G&A there, we had about $2,000 favorability, about 31%, and that was, we have $900 management fees. It just added up across the board. We had solid performance in almost every category. Grounds, they were $7,000 favorable for the month. I think I mentioned last month in the financials, the infrastructure, 3-year infrastructure report is something we pull on reserves for, and it got put as an expense. So we had that reversal of the $2,700 or whatever it was dollars come out, or get reversed back and corrected. Then you see tree removal, which is standard, that's a monthly whatever. Holiday lights, that's a timing one. Ground, that's from Right View, and then irrigation, we didn't have any irrigation problems for the month.
Wow.
Oh. Any problems with the fountain?
No, still going strong. Now that it's probably going out right now.
Because I said that.
Yeah. Let's see, our gatehouse there, we're $2,000 favorable, $1,000 to security services, which is timing. Pest control, we booted that. I think we had talked about last meeting that $396 or whatever that was, Maria?
Yes.
That were for pest control.
Yeah.
So that was accounted for,
Right.
yeah. And then hardware, software for them was $300 favorable. So it gets us to the green there. Utilities, another positive month by $200. I mean, that was basically an electricity there. Reserve is what reserve is. So total expenses were favorable, 11 grand over what we have in budget. So for the year, we still have we pretty much have the Avalon assessment is the only thing that credit is driving it. I mean, we've had $5 grand of late fee income, $1,600 of interest expense to help take care of that. But I mean, overall, that's all we're covering. That's all you're seeing there is the Avalon assessment credit and some of that stuff we had to deal with. Overall, we're $2,400 favorable in G&A, about $9 grand management. Nick, you never spend anything in social. And that's mostly timing, because I know we had purchased the month previous, September, we had purchased gift cards for October's decorating.
Yeah,
Now
this is
November,
the
I
time period.
picked up the December ones already.
Yeah, this
So.
is the time period for, and the costs of sending out postcards, or making and sending.
Yeah.
So that's about it.
And the rest of the stuff is just, I mean, ticky-tack, here's what it is. Grounds, you see we're $34,000 favorable for the year. That's mostly in your routine infrastructure and maintenance, tree removal, wall repair, annuals, whatever. Gatehouse, $3 grand favorable there. $1,700 in police services, security services there, cameras, and then supplies, $1,300, which that's been a running item there as we kind of ramp them up on a few things. Utilities, we're under 2,000 unfavorable with the 2 months of performance there. We should keep that for a while, with irrigation getting pulled down and all that kind of good stuff. Reserve expense is on target there. So total expenses, we've had, good performance there, 38 grand or, 9% to the budget, basically. What does this mean? Operating expense days, since we had some reversals that really reduced the calculation denominator for the average days on hand for the month, it bumped it up artificially to 472 days. That's really not what we have on hand. We're probably at about 366 days, I believe, when you normalize it. But our operating surplus is still at pretty much almost an all-time high again of 280,000, almost 281,000. So that's a plus. Thing to note here on the net income as a percent of net revenue, we're now at 3% year-to-date favorable, getting towards the stretch target of 5.4%. So we are, we're 14,000 favorable on a net income level, and that's after sucking up that 29,000 after it's all said and done. And that's just looking at the credit, not to say the legal expenses we incurred, the printing, the rest of the stuff that came with it. I mean, we covered off a heck of a lot of stuff to get us, pretty, 14 grand favorable in income, and we still got basically November and December to see if we can hit this target. So.
That's good. That's a credit to you, Mike. Thank you.
So it's if we can get back or close to that stretch target, that would be heavy lifting miracle right there. After sucking that up all internally with cash flow. Assessment receivables are at 36,000. As you can see, it's following its normal trend. Our average is up because of the top 3 and now 4 accounts that are comprising like 85% of that total. I know we have one at the attorney's office with legal activity going on. I've got a call next week with Steve Ritter, who's handling that at Larson for the others. See where we are and see how aggressive we can get on, trying to get this done. And that's, that's why we're kind of having this bump to 5.3%, as well as the, the revenue denominator change from that assessment adjustment thing. See, because you can see aging in days, you got $20,000 at 90 plus days, and those three accounts make up 80% of those. 60 days, you can see here is fall. 30 days, since we're again after a quarterly payment due. We had that spike last time. This thing will go down to basically almost zero again. And then you see aging homeowner count. You don't have that many homeowners in the 60 and 90 days, which is of course what you want to see. You never want to see as much money, but the 30 days here, you can see you got 46 people that make up that $6,200. So a lot of them are at the 533 or something like that. So
565.
yeah, thank you. Projects.
So they're just late one quarter.
Yeah.
And that could be a timing issue of when it gets in versus that. Because if you pay online, like I've done, you'll pay on like October 30th. If you use your checking account as an ACH withdrawal, you may have paid it, your receipt says the 30th, you paid your money, it won't get booked until November, on that. So then you technically are in the receivables report for October, but you've already cleared it and your account's at zero. It's just the timing thing. Items here on the project summary. Annual sidewalk grinder replacement is complete. We did end up significantly increasing the scope once we got really into this thing. Went around a few times. We ended up replacing 150 panels and having 522 grinds. There is literally nothing wrong with the sidewalks in any part of this community.
Look at my driveway, please.
Well, that's a whole separate one you'll see on that.
Okay.
Saying sidewalks,
Except for
not driveway,
Okay.
they're on that. So that was a big, that was a big expense. But again, that one, and that's one I've got to reach out to Nicole at Reserve and update her that we're not doing any more real sidewalk repair stuff other than emergency stuff for the next 2 years. After that, I'm done.
And back that up.
Yeah.
The amount that you put in there.
Yeah, because she's got 46 grand a year
Yeah.
going in there.
Right.
No, we already shot a nice one in this one. Let's see, what else we complete? I'll get into the recreation stuff when we get there. Common area tree trimming is complete. I'll leave it at that. The logo redesign is in process, and then the rest of the stuff for the recreation area we'll talk about when we get to that slide. Website, as you can see, we had uptick, and it keeps going up because of the, the contest, which had a stronger, I think, performance than a lot of people thought. Well, at least I thought when I saw that.
Yeah.
We did have some new people move into the community who bumped up the online voting by 1 and email consent by 1 or 2. So we're continuing to push people there, and I think that needs to be our, I guess, our push going forward is, drive everybody online. And one of these days, I wish we could just have the option to make the resolution to have everything online, and then we need to pay
Isn't that the
to get
way
anything.
the state and fed's leaning?
Yeah, state is on that, but that's for 718. That's the condos. HOAs haven't thought about it, but that's why I'm working with the legislative committee for Florida to get that put into 720. So then you could charge someone. Then you can say, okay, if you want to, it's going to be a $5 a month surcharge for printing.
Yeah.
There you
Well,
go.
there's your revenue stream.
There you go.
Let's see. Oh, committee status reports. Our ARB chairman could not be here today, but he did send me a message. Let's see. I got this better. There we go. So basically, there was an ARB meeting on the 2nd to review the applications. There are 2 applications that will be scheduling a meeting, or he'll be getting a meeting scheduled with the ARB to review. No other major items to report from Mike's side looking at this. I guess I'll wait for, well, I'll mention it now. The signs, we did have the whole sign item, the security sign issue. So basically, in looking back, we sent out the violations. Looking back, we may have not been clear enough, because looking at the statutes, it does allow you to have a security snipe sign or whatever the small is, as long as it's within 10 feet of the entrance of your home. So, you know, basically you can't have those signs up there.
Okay,
So,
that's good to know.
yeah. So I will have an update in the newsletter that comes out just as to everybody on that. So for the most part, that one is done and over with. I'm not talking about signs anymore. Hello. Social committee. Nick, nice job.
With
But-
what I do?
No, but we got
Spending
the,
money.
yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Accomplishment.
We had the decorating contest finished with the voting, which was quite strong. There's our winners. We had a tie vote, surprisingly, in Avalon. Boca, Waters, and then overall Turtle Creek, we had Rob and Catherine Caravello take that one, who did a really nice job and had their smoke machine going and in that. So all the winners have received their gift cards, so that is officially closed. We do have the holiday decorating contest coming in December. I have a dedicated slide because Nick had mocked up kind of the postcard,
Yeah.
which we'll have to get printed and then sent over to Leland, and we'll go through that exercise again, sending everybody a holiday card reminder, decorating contest reminder. But we'll get to that. IT, if you want me to take this one? Okay. The voting page for Halloween was created, and it wasn't exactly what we had intended it to be in terms of execution, but it did the job, and there was no confusion by people, which, you know, it may not have been the most elegant solution, but based on timing and schedules, we're just going to replicate that page and do.
This was tough.
Yeah.
We were
Christmas.
busy
Yeah.
during that time, right? It was,
Yeah.
we had to squeeze
Yeah,
it in.
it was it was definitely a push to get it in there with some of the technical issues and hurdles we had to overcome. Phase 2 enhancements, we'll start looking at implementation of the small stuff in January, mid-January type of thing. So, other than that, IT is, you know, where it should be. Not much here to discuss. Infrastructure, you can see we're running pretty well. Overall financials on the infrastructure, I mentioned the sidewalk project was done. We do have a separate quote coming in process, that's in process from Vice Painting for the 4 curb replacements that are holding water significantly, we've identified. So they have to have somebody come out with a laser, shoot it, and figure out what the slope needs to be for it. And we can get that price, as well as the list of driveway aprons that we can grind. Excuse me, we did a test to see how that looked at the first house in Avalon on the right when you come in. And that was one of the larger ones. That was almost 1.5 inches on the one side. And they did a really good job getting that thing down. And it doesn't look completely goofy like I was fearing it would. You know, it's pretty good. So we'll get that, you know, in process here. The tennis court fence replacement, we have now 2 quotes. Once I had to follow up 4 or 5 times, like I was saying, with the folks who can use the existing vertical posts, so we don't have to change that footprint. And I guess I'm just waiting on one more, because I think for that kind of money we need 3 at least, not just 2. So hopefully we'll have that, and we can take a look at it and see, and vote it at the next meeting, and see, get that going. Exit gate sign, I think you've seen it probably, it's installed. We are still testing out and getting the LED lighting that's inside of it all hooked up and on its timer. So then that'll be illuminated at night. It was supposed to be done this morning, but obviously the inclement weather kind of hurt that, as well as impacted some of the Christmas lights being finished, which is the next bullet point. We have our lights installed and really kind of going. I think you said one half was out or something in the front. Okay, I'll have to send them a message when I get back. We did have the dead palm tree behind the water's edge sign removed. That's part of our, I guess, portfolio of common area, so that's done with no issue. And then the gatehouse lightning rod quote, I did sign it. We got to send it over and get it scheduled, but we'll go with the one that we had talked about last month, the 900, was it 950, 955 on that.
You
So
gotta get that one put to bed, right?
Yeah.
It's a nightmare.
You got the pool damage. Tom Slayton at Larson has filed our claim to the insurance carrier for the damage from the quotes that we got from Brightview, as well as Alden Services for the gate repair. So I'm sure that one will be out there for a bit, trying to go through that. Upcoming items, we'll have the front rec area program in process for a while, and the tennis court fence will probably end up, I don't think it's going to be completed in December, but we'll at least vote on it and get it on the schedule. We had a bunch of meetings here. We also had Kathy met with some folks around the putting green replacement for the volleyball court that we'll talk about when we get to the whole, that page on here. One thing on the infrastructure, it's been brought to my attention, I've noticed it too. We have, I guess, a continuing problem with kids up at the front area removing sand from the volleyball court and putting it on the basketball court, as well as using pavement chalk on the basketball court, which is, it'll obviously end up staining it out at some point, and it'll force a goofy look on it. So I'm gonna put in the newsletter, remind you to, that's not what it's there for, but kind of looking at an issue with that sand, which has always been an issue with people taking it out of there. I think it's time to get preemptive on it. I think we should have the posts removed and start getting some quotes to have the sand pulled out, even if we have to put like some kind of fabric around it to mark it off while we have it.
Just gotta look at safety, yeah, because a lot of kids play around there. If we remove sand,
Yeah,
just
we'll
make sure they
remove
don't fall into a pit,
We'll remove the sand and we'll mark it off, but I think it's time to get that area prepped, because even if we don't go in the putting green direction, I think we'll at least have some kind of, I don't know, landscaping there with table or something. We're gonna have something there that's other than the volleyball court. So we'll just start getting that removed.
And they can chalk on the road area, right? It's not like there's a lot of cars there if they want.
on the parking lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
I mean,
can
that's
chalk
where
there.
a
There's
lot
no
of people
problem
do it, but I
chalking
mean, it's, on that kind of surface, we're trying to extend it as long as possible, and that does
Right.
not help at all on that. So, we'll put a reminder out there to people to pay attention to what's going on there, so we, hopefully get that under control.
Yeah. And it is bad, it's a lot right now.
Yeah, yes it is.
And I still pick up diapers every day.
Yeah, I know,
Diapers.
I was gonna put that in there too, the trash
So
is,
they leave it on the ground by a
Mhm.
trash can.
which,
Yeah.
really at the end of the day,
Every time there's.
in the
a
trash
can
can,
full?
out of the trash
No.
can, a
No.
used diaper shouldn't be
Yeah.
thrown there. So now I've gotta remind people
It
what
just
kind of
sits
trash
there.
to
Yeah,
put in the trash
I
can.
don't know why they do that. I don't know why, but it's every day. Same diaper, same type of diaper, same thing.
I mean, if
Go up there
we're,
early and see if I can see who it is,
Yeah,
but
sure.
and literally it's right next to the trash can.
well, if it comes right down to it, and this is a continued problem, not only with the diaper, but as well as the chalk and the sand, we're gonna pull the surveillance. Let's see
Yeah.
who's doing it. And then, we'll take it from there, from, a violation and work it there. Because if we have to, if we're lessening the useful life of that basketball court because of this,
Yeah.
somebody's gonna have to, pony up some money on that.
Right.
Because it's $3,000 to do the basketball court.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we can think about giving a chalk area, right, where everything's still open. I mean, maybe
Even
we
though,
can think-
even the parking lot, I know it's not that safe, but the parking lot itself, I mean, that's not a big problem.
Mhm.
right?
No, exactly, that's a
I
great
mean,
place, you
as,
know,
as
to
long
park,
as there's no cars and parents are doing their jobs.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
know, right?
Yeah.
But, you know, we're talking about that pickleball thing, so maybe we can look at doing a chalk area,
Or
right?
maybe
For
they,
hopscotch or something.
maybe they already have something off the shelf, you can just add in something that.
Exactly, that the
you
kids
know,
can chalk on,
yeah.
yeah.
So we can look at that, but I just thought I'd mention that as that has been brought up to my attention. I've noticed it also.
but then we're hoping that they will
Use it, yeah.
the
Not-
chalk
Oh,
area.
yeah, and not the, well, there's no excuse then,
Yeah.
right? There's
No.
excuse.
Yeah.
Let's see, okay, 2026 program. Recreation area improvements, so.
Our completion date?
Looking here, so just a couple things. We've now got the trash can replacements order's been processed, the bike rack's been processed, the seating's been processed, the table's been processed, and the paver program's been processed. So we got a lot of balls in the air in process right now. So the order was placed, I want to say a week ago or so, week and a half ago for the table. That's about 6 weeks out. The bench order is tentatively scheduled to show up on December 11th. We have, both trash cans have been received, so I told them just to hold it, so when they do the benches and they're gonna pour the,
Yeah.
you're gonna do all the pouring at once,
Yeah.
you know, on that. Kathy, I mentioned the vendor to review the design features for the putting green to replace the volleyball courts. I don't know if you brought your samples and wanna talk a minute or two about that?
For what is this?
This is for the putting green.
Yeah, the synthetic,
One of the vendors gave us some samples that we can use. So this would be like the rough going up to the green. And then we can do this green or this green, like this one.
I like the thing on this.
come on,
Like
up.
this.
Take a feel.
Yeah, come up and look at it.
Yeah.
We've all looked at
This
it.
is just one, this is just one of them. This particular company uses this as a base, not all of
Okay.
them do that. So this would be on the ground, and then this would be on top of it, right? And supposedly it's got like holes in here with super great water runoff and all that stuff. But other
yeah,
companies
yeah.
that I talked to totally disagree with this, right? So there's many different approaches here for this, but these people just left me there.
The black stuff
Yeah,
basically
there's-
stops puddling, and that's about all it does.
Yeah, but any
Yeah.
kind of shift in terrain, you're gonna,
Yeah, I'm a
those
little
joints are gonna
concerned
move
about that.
and, yeah.
But the grass itself, I mean, it looks really nice. And
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea.
I do
Yeah.
too, I do too.
And I think, you know, with the grass nowadays on this stuff, when we're looking at this initially, I know that you get 5 to 7 year non-discoloration warranty.
Yeah.
Where before you never had that, and always
Right.
looked, oh my God, that's been there for 2
Yeah.
years and it looks like it's been burned. Now you get this warranty on that, and you can stretch it even longer with the right care program,
Mhm.
which doesn't, I mean, it's not that expensive. But it's a unique amenity, which I think can be a signature piece that nobody else really has, I mean.
Well, and one of the things that we have so much area up there that we could do. The one company gave us a bid for a 9-hole course up there.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Wow.
I'm not thinking we want
That was a
9
bit of a
holes.
budget buster, so.
Yeah, it was a
I
lot
mean-
of money, and this
Wow.
guy like used to be a PGA player, so this was like the real deal. I'm like, I'm thinking that's not what we want.
You know what? It
It's
adds
a play
value
area.
to the community.
Yeah,
Why
but
not?
it's a play area, hang out, to hang out, not a, tournament.
Well, I mean, how large do we even see? Are we going to do about the same size as volleyball court? Larger than the volleyball court? What are we
No.
looking at?
I mean, I guess my thought was, it's gonna be smaller than the total footprint of the volleyball court, but you're also gonna have sitting area in there.
Yeah.
You're gonna have some other items in there to kinda, you just don't wanna throw a putting green down, no place to sit, no shading,
Yeah,
you
Right.
know,
Of
no
course.
table,
Right.
that type of stuff. So you're gonna, wanna put some kind of landscape around it, so it wouldn't take the whole.
I would just suggest giving it not too large, but some decent space,
Mhm.
because from my family loves to golf and they take me all the time, and I suck at it. But
Yeah.
one thing is that when they go at the putting green, is they always try for distance there, because
Mhm.
those are the shots that matter. If they're
Right.
far away, that's kind of how they have to make sure they match properly.
Right.
So let's
make
give
it
let's
a
give it a
net.
fair
Mhm.
because real golfers,
This
people that golf,
company actually
they
gave
want
us
some
a
space.
bid that was 3 different bids, right, based on
Mhm.
square footage.
Yeah.
So he gave us 3 different sizes.
And that would be the one where, when we look at it, because you're not just going to have just a straight circle or a straight kidney look.
No.
You want to put some kind of, formation around it, and then you want to have a little bit of, undulation in it to make it, play than just basically putting on, a piece of asphalt.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Type of thing.
Also, you might want to check with whichever company we're going with if they're willing to do small gradients in the ground. So some is slightly raised, some
Yeah,
is
no
slightly.
undulation,
I'm not
yeah.
talking about like a
Right.
gradient straight down, but a little bit of a mismatch,
Yeah.
some challenge to it. Especially if people are going to use this to actually practice their putting, then we
Mhm.
kind of have to follow what golf clubs would do.
Mm-hmm.
So
Exactly.
Yeah.
otherwise, it's just a big patch of green
Correct.
with a few
But I
flags.
think,
At least it's green.
except for the 9-hole guy, it wasn't like crazy money, right? I mean, it wasn't out of control.
No, but even the 9-hole, if you cut it in half,
Right.
that would be more what I'm thinking.
Mhm.
He's looking to expand the whole thing, and you have 9. I don't need 9 holes.
Well, we could do 3.
You know.
No,
I mean,
Even 3 would be
have a
sufficient.
whole.
I mean, you're looking at probably 5, maybe
Yeah.
6
Wow.
on that.
Wow.
Yeah.
What I would say is legitimate. That gives you enough room and to plan it out well enough. So.
I think it's a great feature to have, and if we can make it professional, I think that's power to
Yeah,
us.
exactly.
I think we don't want to make it like a cheap little,
No,
no. Especially since it's golf and Florida's known for golf, and we're
Mhm.
trying to be
Right,
high
right,
class.
right.
So we kind of want to make sure we put our attention into it, make it proper.
Well, yeah, because I mean, the idea is to get people to use it. And if
Mhm.
it's
Yeah.
easy or they're not going to use it.
I'm actually surprised how many people use the tennis and the basketball
I
courts.
know, it's
Good Lord,
busy
a
up
lot
there,
of
isn't it?
huge
Yeah.
crowds come, like,
I
they're
think
not
it
all
would
from
be
the
nice
community,
because I
but-
think this now offers something for adults, right? So the kids can play,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
the adults can do this, and I just think
It's
we could bring the
it-
family
it's-
there.
It's
nice.
a different slant too on things.
It's a different,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
So.
and they've come a long way in this. I'm telling you, I just get ready to reside my house, but I really wish I could afford to do this because it really looks nice. It looks real.
Yeah, no, I mean, it does look really good, and I have to resod my house, so hopefully, I mean, if you ran like too much fertilizer over or something, I wonder if it would burn it.
I'm thinking next time I saw it, this will be probably my last time I saw it, because when I saw it again, it's gonna be this. Yeah, it's gonna be artificial.
No, but I think we have a good start for the review on that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the one bid, actually, the guy will do us a rendering.
That the guy we met with?
Yeah.
He was a good guy.
Yeah.
I liked
Which, who
He,
would that
it's called BLG Environmental. Yeah, and so he's almost like, it's almost like he's a interior decorator, but for outdoor.
outdoor
Yes,
stuff, yeah.
for outdoor. And so what he would do is, he would give us a drawing of whatever we wanted, the play area, the whole thing out
Yeah.
there, and
Yeah.
then he could facilitate getting this done, and like he would handle all that,
Yeah,
right?
that might not be a bad idea. If we're gonna have seating, like you're
Mhm.
saying, if the golf course or the putting green is designed with that in mind, the
Yeah.
curvatures of where stuff would be.
That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking.
Yeah, that
I
would-
just, but
that'd
we
be a
hadn't
good
really
idea.
talked about it,
Yeah.
I mean, it was
It-
what, like $3,500 or something for him to do that.
Yeah.
But, and that would give us several, like he would
Yeah.
show it and we could tweak it, but I felt like then we have a roadmap,
Yeah, of
right?
course, yeah.
What we wanna do,
Alright.
so.
So, yeah,
Sounds
so
interesting.
we'll definitely see what else we can find in terms of getting that same kind of design feature, because I know we can, I mean. if
No
you-
one else does that, like I couldn't find anyone that would do the rendering.
Oh, if we need a rendering on just the putting green, I can call a couple golf course architects.
Yeah, I was thinking the whole thing, but.
Yeah, I mean, but if we're looking at that, and then if we want an outdoor, somebody else type of thing.
Well, he could, like, that's what he would say, like, if we were gonna just have him do everything, then the
Right.
rendering would be included, but if we
Right.
just want him to do a nice rendering for us, and then we're not tied to him,
Right.
right, we would just pay for that, use that as a roadmap, and then just, go.
Yeah,
from
we
And he
there.
was kind of like gonna be a GC too.
Okay.
You know,
Well,
if
yeah,
we
something
wanted
a
to
decorator
do this
does.
here, then do this next step, do another step.
Okay.
Go find everybody,
Yeah.
price it,
Right.
do all that,
It
right?
might not be a bad idea to
Yeah.
outsource the rest of it.
I'm not, I don't know, I mean, I think we do a pretty good job, especially you do, and I didn't have a problem finding people that could come out and do this.
Yeah.
But what I had a problem with was getting a visualizing it. Yeah, and to me, I thought this was good. And then we talked about maybe doing like the pickleball or something. He could add that in there if we wanted a chalk area. Then we just have a roadmap. We can see what it looks like. And also, he would do the monument where we're going to do the brick pavers.
Yes.
Right? He would lay all. It would include everything.
Okay.
So to me, I think that's worth it. It was like $3,000 or something, but I just think it's
Never underestimate designers. I mean, they know what they're doing. These golf. I've met a golf architect. Like they're. I mean,
it's just
I
things
could
you don't even
never.
think
I could
of,
never think of the way they see it. Just the. It's
and the
phenomenal.
different ideas.
The
and
terrain
things like
and how
that.
they manipulate it in their head and how you're going to have a certain area.
Yeah.
How do you carry this bunker? And
But
where,
they look at stuff like where the sun comes up from.
Mhm.
Like
Oh, yeah.
when you're playing on what time of day, like we might never think of that. Like, oh, the shade would literally hit this spot. It would be, wouldn't be that appealing to put it here. Let's put it there. I mean, these people, it's their jobs. They're really good at it. So, yeah,
So I
would
mean,
be
I
nice.
think it would be worth investigating him.
Mm-hmm.
would be nice.
Yeah, let's take a further deep dive. And probably want to get some kind of start summarizing all this stuff in a spreadsheet we can update type of
Okay.
thing.
Wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, just so it's who you met with.
Yeah, he's kind of
Yeah.
standalone on that piece,
Yeah.
but yeah, I can do this other stuff. So
Yep.
yeah, I know it's really nice.
Yeah, I mean
Make sure the dogs don't go on it.
Well, you just sanitize it. You pick it up like you do
Yeah.
grass, and then you sanitize. You just clean
part
it.
of the maintenance
Read
program
it.
for it.
Yeah.
I like this though. That's one question that we should ask: is if they don't have something like this, where does the water go?
Straight down.
Straight down to the
Yeah,
ground.
straight
Because remember,
down, yeah.
it's not on asphalt. There's two ways besides that interlocking way to do it. One, you can pull out all the material that's there now. You're going to do 2 levels of crushed fines down, so it's permeable.
Oh, okay,
Pat it
okay.
down and put it there. The better way to do it for more longevity, in my opinion, is you have an asphalt base, and then you put fines down, which will still put that, and you probably want to put some kind of French draining system at the asphalt
Yep.
level to push it
Yeah.
out. But then you would still have, you have a more solid base for those fines to be compacted in that, but you'd still get drainage, I think improved drainage in that regard.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I've never thought of that. Okay, cool.
golf course person. Let's see, moving on, the last bullet. Paver program, I talked to the brick makers guy, so he's getting everything together in terms of the website to sell and how it would integrate into our website, the different options in terms of, I think we said 2 sizes, and we can pick the price point whatever we want. But we should have by December a review package, so we can say, okay, yeah, this looks good, it's ready for prime time, and we can release and get that out there. So maybe early January launch of the sales for them. And to Nick's point, I think we'll just have this continue to be an item that we run. So like in the new homeowner package, you can have the ability, you'd have an option, telling you, hey, you can buy your own paver now that
How
you
much are you
Just continue.
thinking now?
I don't know, I
Didn't we
mean,
talk about this? Didn't we talk about this like 2 meetings? A meeting?
I mean,
You
they,
said 100. I think that's a lot.
Well, we still have to
remember
look
we're
at
having
the-
2 sizes. That was the bigger size. You can
Yeah.
do like a 40 and 100 or a 45 and 100, because you have the regular brick paver, like my sample, that would be the smaller one. Now they have one that's bigger, more of a square, you can get more lines on it. That would be the larger $100 version, let's say.
Okay.
So, I mean, you can add even a 3rd version. They can do anything you want.
Right.
I mean, they're pretty flexible.
Are we going to do like buy a brick every year, as in say your name with the year on it, and then because we're not gonna have it open all year, and then we constantly have to be installing bricks, right?
I would say you would have it open all year, and then you would much like the tree trimming, consolidate it so you get
Get a
a
basket
dozen,
of work.
2 dozen, and then you would do an install. I wouldn't want to get one brick come in, install.
No.
One brick
Yeah,
come
well,
in,
that's
install
what
it.
I'm asking. Like, we don't want
Yeah.
it for too small of
Yeah.
a batch. Are we gonna date them? I think we talked about that, didn't
You
we?
can, the person would have their choice of what they want on it. Because you can type in
What do we want to mandate that's on each brick?
the date. I didn't think of that.
Maybe the year. I mean, It would
year.
definitely show
Yeah,
how,
it
how
went in.
our
That would be
community
nice.
is aged. Yeah.
That's fine, I mean, we can do that,
Disney doesn't.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
Yeah, I mean,
100
'cause
bucks
like
is
I
cheap.
would
I
like
know.
probably
I've got my $500 one.
get one
Yeah.
for my, you know, for my pets, you
Mhm.
know, so.
I mean, hey, it'll be there for.
All right, I'll let, yeah. But I'll,
We don't plan
I'll
to
ask
remove
them
it.
to see, you know, how, does that impact the texting if we can have, you know, a
Maybe.
solid block in just a year? You know, type of thing, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's not a bad idea, but we should have everything to review by December meeting.
Cool. Cool.
And what
Yeah.
else are they
So
gonna
we'll
do?
have to just pick the font and that sort of thing that we want.
Mhm. Yep. And that was with the catalog. I mean, I can pass it around if you guys wanna take a look at it again, or you can give, I think I have the high definition PDF I can send. You can flip through it online.
Yeah, I wonder if, if we could maybe get the same font as our logo.
Isn't
Whatever we
that
decide on that.
Trajan? Trajan, I think it's, no, it's something close, yeah.
I think they can,
It's a very
as long as we
formal-
tell them, we can do anything you want.
Yeah, it's a very formal font.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could find that. We could give it to them.
If they don't already have
Well,
it.
we
'cause they-
don't, well, we don't know yet. You know, once we get the
Yeah.
logo approved and everything, maybe we could.
Yeah, they should be able to do that because they make the plate and then just stamp the plate into the brick, don't they?
On what,
that's how
they
most
burn
of
it
them
in,
are,
yeah,
right?
basically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because there's 3 ways to do it, and since we're not doing like graphics with color, that's the more expensive way.
Yeah.
I'll have to look again. I haven't got that information, but basically,
Cool.
it is some kind of formulated template that they're, you know, pressing or they're burning, but it comes with a lifetime warranty that the whatever your text is doesn't fade or chip or
Mhm.
go
Yeah,
wrong.
that's
when
nice.
Mike and I were up there waiting for one of the vendors, you know, the golf course person, we saw that,
Mhm.
you know, there's that marble sign, the park name.
Oh, the park name, yeah.
Oh,
and so
yeah.
we thought that might be a good place to start the bricks, right? That would,
It would be a jump start, you could put it right there, because that is like a monument area. I mean,
Yeah.
for that.
and there's
that-
plenty of room to grow.
Yeah.
You know, around those palm trees and everything,
Mhm.
pine trees.
I mean, these things are
We
pretty
could always
durable.
keep adding.
I mean, the bricks that I have over at Disney, people on them all day long.
Yeah.
I did that 30 years ago, and it still looks like it was put in yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And most, I mean, every college in America does that for
Yeah.
fundraising at the
Right.
stadiums and,
Right.
Yeah.
and they all, and they can stand the test of time, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
2 quick items on here. I'm getting a quote for.
Oh, wait, one
Yes.
more thing on that?
Yeah.
We did decide it was gonna be charity.
No, we haven't decided on
No.
that yet.
Okay. I thought that was,
Doesn't matter.
I mean, okay, but we need to know that before we do the
Before we
site and
move
everything,
forward.
yeah, right.
Well, yeah, I mean, we can modify it because I'll have access to modify the site, but I mean, it'll be stood up. I just want the infrastructure there.
Okay,
We can put it for whatever we want at that point.
Mhm.
okay.
The 2 things I wanted to mention that aren't listed here that I just admitted by accident. At the tennis court, you know, the 3 gates that eventually will get redone with a better locking mechanism and whatnot. Right now, it basically, the tennis court ends and it's just dirt and wood chip or whatever. If I wanted to see, get a quote for putting, you know, kind of a cement footer in front of it with some pavers on the side to kind of frame it in for each one of them.
Mhm.
You know, which I think would look pretty good
Mhm.
on
Yep.
that.
Very nice.
So, we can even do a color to match almost on the cement too.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, if we wanted to match that red or the burgundy, whatever the color code is for that, so it kind of blends in
Yeah.
on there. And just a nice brick paver, you know, kind of frame it, and then it gives you a little walk step up versus, you know,
Yep.
here's the
Yeah.
jagged edge that the, you know, the
Right,
end of the
yes.
concrete is for the,
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And in talking with Mike Hanel on the table, since the table is bigger than the one that we have now, he's basically suggesting, you know, all we're going to do is basically put in a medium-sized paver around it. Then he's going to cap that in cement and then put another paver around it. So now you've got the footprint bigger and reuse that.
Oh, nice, okay.
There you go.
So you don't have to demo. He'll cut the post in it, fill it in.
Yeah.
Because this other one has a different mounting system.
Yeah.
And then he'll just expand the footprint and we can reuse it versus having to demo the concrete and start over with the full
Okay.
charge.
I like the idea of the papers around it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it kind of breaks up versus being, hey, we added this concrete after the fact.
Yeah, right.
Type of thing,
Yeah.
and pushed it in.
Yeah. Okay.
And the other item is, I'm waiting on the quote for the post that's currently sitting behind the gatehouse to repurpose that. Next to the drinking fountain that we had put in, we have basically an open area where it's free. Like to take the old exit gate sign that we had just replaced, pull out the stuff, refurbish it, which we can, so we don't have to buy a new, and then put the post in and mount that on there, and then that would be kind of almost your static information center. You'd have the Turtle Creek thing, and Turtle Creek across the top. That would give all 12 months of our meetings in large, and I would assume we would make this, they wouldn't be just straight paper. These are going to be in there for a while. The sun, we just get a nicer thing to put in there. Maria name as our community manager, who to contact, the website, different stuff like that is more static that people might not know, and you're definitely not going to see if you're driving out on the exit gate. It would always be there, so you could always reference it. So.
And where there?
Next to the water
so you've
fountain.
Got the door to the tennis court, and then there's an angled area, right? And then there's the water fountain.
Yeah, next to the water fountain.
And then on the other side, okay. So
Yeah,
on that straight part of that.
No, you put it next to the water fountain because you still have enough gap on the angle to put it up there. So you have water fountain and then next to it there.
Okay.
What type of, are we gonna print on a sign, like metal or aluminum or?
I don't know,
like
I'll look at the different options because we're not gonna put corkboard or anything in there.
No.
It'll be the magnet one that's kind of on the side of the guards there. Those are little magnets on there.
Yeah.
And that works a lot better. And I wouldn't anticipate there being a lot of change. Maybe every couple months we'd refresh it, but if we're gonna put the calendar for the entire year, you want something a little more heavy duty instead of it getting sun beaten and just, looks faded and crinkly and from the humidity and whatnot, so. But let's get the quote first and see how everything. Something that's more durable that can handle a little bit of.
Maybe even laminate.
Something like that, but I think it's a good way to put, especially for new folks.
Well, we wouldn't have to cancel a meeting because it didn't get posted or something now, right? I mean, so.
Correct.
That's good.
Yes.
Because it's always up.
Yes.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
It's always there. Plus email.
And the website has.
Yeah.
We'll have the next 12 months. Yeah. So.
That's good.
So that takes care of the rec area.
Oh wait, I had a question on the rec area. Sorry. So like for the playground area, we talked about changing that up a little bit. Are we not doing that, or is that not?
You mean pulling out the mulch and putting in the?
Doing and then also you talked about getting like a turtle thing.
Those are in process. But the other ones, the benches and everything, we took priority on those.
Oh, okay. So it's just not on the list, but it's on. But it's on the list, just not on this list.
It's not on this list because it hasn't made it from where I draw the line, how many things we have in process at once. Because the last thing I want is for us to have 40 things in process, multiple things sitting in warehouse or storage or at a vendor for install, and we're trying to,
Right.
I like to get the, if we're gonna do 3 benches and a table with concrete, let's just hold them, and then we can do the concrete, and then we move to the next cycle. But the stone turtle that I found, it's green, it's stone, it's not bad looking. I can send you a picture. It's about $550, but it's a brand element type of thing.
Yeah.
It is because we used to have that red Clifford dog that you could sit on, which is actually in the trunk or back of my car. I haven't scrapped it yet because it kept getting in the way up there. So every time I open the back of it, I got this huge metal Clifford dog sitting in the back of there. Great. But that's on there. Plus, I reached out to 2 of the vendors that Orange County uses at the parks, like Dr. Phillips Parks, for that spongy stuff, just as a starting point. I mean, a lot of people do that, but I figure that's more of a slow track. We can just keep that. What I'd like to do first, though, is get in December kind of some focus on repainting a couple of the surfaces on the tot lot itself. Kind of some of the caps needed, just to refresh on kind of an aesthetic on that. So that would be first, and then.
Yeah, because we could compare the squishy floor to the artificial turf and see which one would be better.
For the playground, right? Now, what I was wondering is, because I know that now that we're talking about the materials, most or some playgrounds that I've seen have sand, and I was thinking, we have sand from the volleyball court. Would it be maybe a better alternative to? Because I know those kids love
And then
playing in that sandbox.
now you've moved the sand closer to the
Yeah.
basketball court.
Yeah.
Right.
So it'll be
Sand is a bad thing.
I'm
Yeah.
just saying,
Yeah.
the kids love to play in the sandbox.
Yeah,
We
still.
might as well give them a sandbox. So,
Well, they have one.
And they make
well,
them-
it's gonna go away.
and they're abusing it.
It's gonna turn into grass. Not even real grass. So I was just
And
saying,
I
it
don't
would,
know
it
that
might be easier
parents
since
with
we've
their
already
kids
got.
all sandy too.
Yeah.
Take them to the beach.
Yeah. I just know that that
Yeah.
rubber stuff, it was always if you fell in it, it's not soft either. You know,
Yeah.
like as a kid, it's
Yeah.
you land on that stuff, it's cushion. It's kind of like a cushion,
I'm
but
curious to see the
still
cost
rough.
of that versus the cost of the artificial turf, because I think the turf would look really nice in there, right?
Yeah,
Clean
no,
and
to me,
crisp and
in my opinion, the turf would probably be more, just my guess, because
Right.
it's not really coming from a recycled material like you can get with the recycled tires.
yeah.
And we're not gonna go crazy with the the multicolor stuff or get your logo put in, which they can do.
Right, right,
You know,
right.
I mean.
On every chip.
Yeah.
On every one of them.
But I mean, if you do something, and you don't wanna have black, cause the thing will heat up like hell.
Oh, yeah.
But if you did something, basic but yet classy, I mean, I would assume, and I'll probably be proved wrong, that the mat would be easier
Okay.
to push down on, but,
Yeah.
and cheaper too.
Okay.
So, but we'll see. So I'll work to get those ready for December, at least a couple to see, is this even feasible financially? Does this budget even make sense? They come back, everybody comes back at 75,000 or something. No.
Right.
We'll take a pass and we'll
Right.
throw some more mulch in.
Yeah.
Logos. So, we've been going back and forth on this one, and I think we've, the way I'm going to frame it up on the website as well as to the email to the community for feedback is, here's our current logo. Our primary colors are really the forest green, or hunter green, whatever you want to call it, the white, and we also have that underlying gold and brass tone that comes into play throughout the front of the neighborhood, and that, which, like I think I've said before, looks like a mid-90s Eddie Bauer Ford Explorer, which
Right.
kind of
And
dated.
it was designed in the
Yeah.
mid-90s,
Yeah.
right? So fair enough.
It
It was in
looks-
style.
It looks tired. So these were the four I think we settled on. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll throw those out there, and then if we and I just want to confirm that we're all aligned on the process. Whatever comes back with the feedback and whatnot, let's take a look at it, and then if we narrow that to one, then we can tweak it again for some of the stuff.
Yeah. I mean,
So-
whichever one the community votes on, we'll just
Yeah.
keep,
See,
we work on that.
because
one.
literally, this turtle should be looking like this guy.
I think
I
so
like-
too,
yeah.
yeah. I
Instead of
think
him
so
looking
too,
like
right?
he's
Yeah.
getting fed somewhere.
Yeah.
But again, we're looking for design intent, and to me,
Right.
these are the design intents. I don't think they're drastically different, like this isn't a complete overhaul, but it is
Yeah,
It's a
definitely
good
refresh.
transition.
Yeah.
Mhm. It is a refresh.
It's more
yeah.
evolutionary versus revolutionary, which I don't
Right.
think we need to change too much. I just think we need to stay fresh in it to stay relevant. So I'm targeting the 25th to send everything out, and then I'm probably going to leave it open for responses, like probably 3 or 5 days.
So are we gonna do a first, second, third, fourth?
We'll look how
or
it comes
just,
in.
Which one
See
do
how
you
it comes
back.
like, or?
Well, it depends on how our votes come in. I think if we're tied on 2,
Yeah.
then we can kind of be like, okay, we get to decide. At
Yeah,
this
but if
point.
somebody blows the doors
But,
off, like
yeah.
head and shoulders above
Right,
it type
right,
of thing.
yeah.
And I think we also have to look at each in the context of the feedback you get, the comments,
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
somebody liked the black in the first one, but really liked the one right underneath it for design. Do
Still
you-
have the crest,
Yeah, would
yeah.
that be something we want to, kind of, okay, we seem to get a trend of, hey, everybody really likes that black kind of standing out. How
Just
do we?
make sure we label each logo as so that if in the comment field, people
Mhm.
can say, I like this logo, but with that, it's
Yeah,
it's gonna be
a 1,
difficult for
2,
them to
3, or
go,
4,
I like the
right?
Turtle Creek one with the turtle.
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
Yeah, and then also, the thing to maybe point out too is, with these, that silver and not just a gray. I mean, in the
Mhm.
picture it's very flat, but the idea is that, out front it would be a silver.
You'd have texture to it.
Yeah, exactly.
So
you know.
the way the document would set up that you're going to be sent, each one is an individual. So you'd have, the first one is that one, and you can name it 1A.
Okay,
And
yeah.
1A is right there, and you can vote for it, and then there's a comment box. Now, you can leave comments for each of them, so if I vote for 1A and I trash the other three,
You can
your
write
comments
why.
will show up under 2A, 2B.
Well, will you be able to see them all together at the same time? Okay.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can just put a comment under each one, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I
Right?
see, okay.
Yeah, but then you could run it, and it would throw everything out, and then we'll just consolidate and say, okay, at the top of the header, this is the first one. And then here's all the comments, here's the votes. And then what I'll do is I'll run it through a program online that picks up keywords. So if you have common keywords throughout all the comments, it'll tell you, hey, black is used in 75% of your responses. And then you can look, okay, maybe that's a key thing we have to, a design element we have to focus on.
Right.
So to give it a more little deeper analytic view on it, so.
What are those things that are sticking up from the bottom one on?
Right there?
This one?
That's a crown, I believe.
Yeah, it's a crown.
This
Yeah.
or this, swords?
The one on the middle one, right?
Yeah.
Here, that one? Yeah, that's a
On the
crown, I
top.
believe.
What are those three?
It's a
like a
crown.
crown.
It's a
A
crown.
crown.
Yeah, I think it's like it's kind of like the old-fashioned shield. You know, they always have
It might look better
the
without
armor
the.
around
Looks
it.
like three people standing up.
Yeah, that is true. No,
Well,
you
you know,
mentioned-
now if you look at it, it looks like
players.
Easter Island, you know?
Yeah.
It's an
And
Easter
I'll
Island.
tell you the other thing, that I think those are swords at the bottom,
Yep.
and they look like crosses.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And you've got a lot of different religions in our.
that is very true.
Well, yeah.
Well, it'll.
But
I
it's
mean,
not
it'll
a
come
cross,
back in the
though,
comments.
It's a sword,
yeah.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, because we do have the swords now,
Right, we
that's where
have
they
them
got the
now.
design element from.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
because
they
they're
look
sitting
like
up there.
swords. Those are sticking up looking like
They're sticking
crosses.
upright. Yeah, well, I mean, that's kind of why we're sending it out now. Whatever feedback we get, we're
Yeah.
still gonna tweak it.
If you bring the
We're
swords,
going to.
bring the two swords to the foreground, done.
No, that's true.
Simple stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
The
yeah, that
fleur-de-lis at
stuff
the
we can
bottom is
still play
okay.
with, but we had to narrow it down, right, so.
Yeah, we could have kept working on it, but regardless, if we send it out for a vote, we'd probably still have to change it
Yeah, no,
afterwards.
I mean,
so.
because, again, I just want to see, where is the community kind of leaning, if at all, on something you can get a.
Yeah, like, do we wanna stick with the crest?
Yeah.
Right, because then the others go away, if, the community really, because we have the crest now, do we wanna stay with that, or
Yeah, when
totally?
you do the survey,
Mm-hmm.
feedback's going to be really important. So
Yeah.
instead of like maybe saying comments, like I don't know if in parentheses we can ask like color, like examples of what they can comment on.
Be
Kinda makes people
specific,
think.
i.e. color
There you go.
lights.
There you go. Just
Yeah.
we
Well,
need
the
we need
dislikes.
feedback on this
Yeah.
stuff. It's not easy to just go, okay, that one won.
Yeah.
Why did it win? There's
Yeah.
50 different little things to it.
Yeah, I
you
mean,
know.
and I'm one of those people that sometimes you just want to get through a thing, you put comment, good, fine.
Yeah, see,
What would you
and
change? Nothing.
You know what, these logos look totally different on this than
Yeah.
it does up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So try and ask for specifics or
Okay.
some good detail.
yeah, cause
in
see,
there.
that
We
one
need
with the
feedback.
crest looks so much nicer
Yeah.
I
Oh
agree.
yeah.
than up there.
But I can tell you that the off-the-shelf
You
stuff
should come
from
around and look at
SurveyMonkey really does, they already have one kind of set up where it
See,
asks you
how
and prompts you,
different it
because you can
looks.
even lock it where if you don't make a comment, it won't let you submit.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
I've just been
also, yeah.
coloring and stuff. To me, it looks like a crown, so.
Yeah.
It would look more like a crown to me if there was like something linking it together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's maybe something if the
And
community
that's a
votes for it,
comment
maybe.
when you get the
yeah.
email.
Yeah.
Yeah, comment away.
If we hear about it, we know who that came from.
Fix the Moai.
Well, and for me, the crosses are fine, but it
Yeah.
isn't for a lot of.
But you're right. You're
Yeah.
right. You bring up a good point.
And I think they're swords, but because it's
Mhm.
kind of a cross at the top part, I
Yeah.
just think it's,
You're right. I mean, we need to create logos that are universally acceptable for a lot of people.
Well, I
and
mean,
it's
we
something
actually have a cross in our logo now, that Florida, how do you say that, that French word, that's a cross in the right in
Oh,
the middle.
the French
Florida, yeah,
symbol.
we do have a
Fleur de
cross.
lis?
Yeah, the Fleur de Lis
Yeah.
cross.
New
Well,
Orleans
Fleur de lis
Saints
is not a
logo.
cross, but the others
No,
on the
it
two
is a
sides of
cross, it is a religious
Is it?
symbol.
It is, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is a cross. It's-
Yeah, it is.
Fleur-de-lis, yeah.
Yeah,
It's the New Orleans Saints.
You go to New Orleans and you see.
yeah. Well, it's-
So
it's
feedback
French.
is very important.
Yes,
Let's
yes.
emphasize feedback on the.
And what I'll do is, when I get the test set up, I'll shoot everybody the draft.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll send everybody the one, you can test it if you want, and then we can see how does everything make sense from a phrasing what the expectation is, type of thing.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
terms
I
of
think we need
de-
to be careful because we could be opening a can of worms here too.
Yeah, also probably show our current logo. Some
Yeah.
people might, I mean, our logo isn't posted like in front of everyone. Maybe they're like,
Yeah,
what does
this
our
is
logo
a
really look
perfect
like?
thing here, right? Because it shows the existing and then it shows
Yeah.
Yeah.
4 alternatives.
Yeah, maybe show what our
Freshen
existing
up.
is.
Yep.
Just so
Well, that
people
was
have
always
a
the plan.
reference.
This is the
Yeah.
current logo. That's been
Cool.
around since '96 or '97, whenever this kind of came about, and now these are what we're looking at as ideas,
Yeah.
thought starters. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good, thank you.
The
let's see.
feedback comes back. No, we like the old logo.
Wow.
I know,
Oh.
gold, oh
Yeah.
no.
Oh.
All right.
All right.
Nick.
Oh, Nick, good
Yeah.
job, look at that.
Yeah.
Holy wow, look at that.
It's just a quick draft that I still have to change
nice.
a lot on.
So, suggestion, or you have like Turtle Creek's.
Yeah.
Can you do Turtle Creek's 3rd annual winter decorating hunt?
I didn't know what
Yeah, it's-
how much.
It's number 3. Let's do
Okay,
that
it's
because
our
I
third
kept
one.
using
Got
the.
it.
I kept using the 3rd annual for the Halloween because that was the 3rd year.
So it was our third. Okay.
Yeah, so
third
this-
annual. Got
yeah.
it.
You need to put an apostrophe after creek
Yeah.
before the S.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm horrible when it comes to grammar. That's
I
why I
can
run
do
it
that.
past
This in
everyone.
just like 2 minutes, right? I
Yeah.
mean, we
Yeah,
throw
it's,
this together right for the.
Well, the
Yeah.
design program
But I
I
think it
use
looks
doesn't
nice.
spell correct. Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, apostrophe S.
And
Yeah.
then overall Turtle Creek, we'll do like we
It
did
should be
before.
Should it be holiday decorating?
I mean, I could.
Yeah.
It just makes it longer. I just wanted to keep it.
Oh.
Winter decorating contest. I mean, we could do holiday decorating contest. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just that's up to you guys.
Put holiday. We don't really have a winter
Yeah,
here.
it is holiday,
Yeah.
yeah.
Holiday.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
So Turtle Creek's 3rd annual, and then winter holiday decorating contest.
Holiday decorating.
Just holiday decorating. contest.
Just holiday decorating
Yeah.
contest.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
We did it last year. That's why.
What?
We the other years we called it winter
Oh.
because Raid was suggesting it to be the
Oh.
winter holidays.
I don't care.
Do we have summer holidays?
Fourth of
I
July.
don't think so,
No.
right?
Not right. No,
No.
no, the holidays in place. Yeah.
Okay. So holiday decorating contest. Better?
Okay.
Okay.
Overall Turtle Creek
That should be
wins.
150.
150. Okay.
And then best of, you want to put Boca Point.
Best
How much
of
was it
Boca
for
Point.
our
150.
Halloween?
Water-
Was it 150 and 100?
Yep, and 100 each.
Aren't they more? Didn't we do more for
No,
Halloween?
because last year was only like 50 and 100.
Yeah.
And
That's
what we said
true.
we
You're
were-
right. We
Yeah,
bumped
for
it up.
Halloween.
Right.
Yeah.
You're right. We bumped it
Yeah.
up. Okay, so I can change
So,
that.
yeah, so Boca Point.
Yeah,
Water's
the
gonna
dark
stand
shadow
out.
underneath it, that was just a quick throw.
Yeah.
We're gonna, I'm still tweaking it, so once I get the 100,
I think the dark,
150 in
I think
there.
it looks good, but you need to add point, is what we're saying. Boca Point.
Yeah.
Now, if we look at the dates, the timelines I have to the right, if we, I don't know how fast we can order and get them. Is there, and I just threw it out there.
I go to Office Depot, because the
Oh.
people there, they can just print them on
Okay.
paper. It saves us a lot of money, it just goes fast.
All right. So
So
if we can get those to Leland next week, and then have them postmarked by December 1st, is
Let me
that
see.
feasible?
Give me
In the Leland
And they
world?
need a little bit more time, but I think if I
Give
give
me a
her a
second.
heads up,
Because basically,
Wait.
I mean, we don't have to do any kind of electronic versus not. This is going to every home. So they just got to run the labels for every home. And
so
I could drop them off for printing tomorrow,
Mhm.
and then they're usually 24 hours, because I give them some decent time on it. Probably, yeah, I could probably get them to you guys Friday, Monday, Tuesday, somewhere around there. Friday,
Because
Monday,
even if we
Tuesday.
got them to you in time, then you can fit them into queue.
And then the other
wherever-
side is
wherever would
nothing?
fit
yeah,
for
I'll
your.
let her know.
We keep it blank, yeah,
Okay.
that just saves us costs.
Yeah,
It's-
no, I
plus,
just-
that's what's the
yeah.
request from Leland Printing, so we throw
They
the
throw the-
postage and the label on it.
Oh, okay.
That's
Okay,
why,
perfect.
because I think it was the last time they said it was a pain because it was the laminate to print on
And
both sides.
what sucked last time was it went, the sticker went over our deadline.
Yeah,
So
Oh.
that was the problem. So we had decorated, we had designed both sides, but it had gone over, and they're pretty decent. I think they're like that big.
Mhm.
So I just said, keep it blank. It saves us printing on a second side. It just
Yeah,
saves
perfect.
money. All right, let's do it.
Yeah.
You know, that's the social committee. We're all about saving money.
Okay, so, it's gonna be a flyer?
Photoshop.
it's just a postcard like we did for
Sometimes I
Halloween.
use what's it called now?
Because
No,
basically,
no,
it's
forget
going to
it.
every home, and we just need the homeowner label put on it, and then
But I use the
postage.
Adobe suite because I'm certified with Adobe, so.
Right.
Illustrator?
Yeah, Illustrator sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But mostly, I mean, just because it's such a fast thing, I usually just Photoshop gets it done faster.
Mhm.
So, I mean, unless you need something that needs to be
Mhm.
like a logo design, that has to be our
Right.
rights, I'm
Yeah.
like, just throw it together.
Yeah, no, this is perfect. I love the colors, see the blue on there?
Yeah. Just keeping it simple, honestly.
Yeah.
Something that'll catch the eye, but
Mm-hmm.
nothing over the top for us. Deadline is going to be
Well, if we look at, I want to set. the-
25th, you said then?
Well,
25th?
I want to make sure, and we'll have this on the website and people can go look at it, and I'll have it in the newsletter. So as soon as you get like the final one, send it to me, because I'll pop it in the newsletter like I did for the
Yeah.
Halloween one, and that
Yeah.
one half page. I mean, we can have it the 18th, that's like the day that they take the pictures. Like, because I think people didn't know when the pictures were being taken.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we want to set a timeline, the pictures are being taken the 18th, so have your stuff up by the 18th.
Do you want me to put that in there?
If it can fit without looking too wordy.
that would-
Homes submitted by December 18th. Do you want to do that? Or how do you want to phrase it? Because we need
Are
to
they
tell, we need to
taking
tell
pictures
people.
and send them, or?
Pictures
are you
of
Oh,
all
going
the
around?
I can do that with my camera, because it's nighttime, I'll just.
I did it with mine.
I'll get it run through.
Yeah, I just think you should say the date you're gonna
Just
take the
leave it
pictures so
plain and
people
Yeah.
can
Yes.
turn on the lights or whatever, right,
Okay.
so they know to make
So,
sure they're on and.
Decorations to be photographed.
Photo, yeah.
Contest
December
photos taken,
Yeah,
On this date and
Yeah.
time, to kinda do it,
The night of
Contest-
December 18th.
yeah, contest
I would
photos
hope
taken
somebody would
December.
recognize it that night.
What's the 18th? Hold on, let me
Well,
check. my-
no, he actually, for Halloween, there were some that didn't have lights, but they had some cute things out, so he snapped those too.
At first, I didn't go out during the. At first, I didn't go out at night because I was like, do people really? Is this more of like a nighttime decoration or daytime decoration?
Right.
So it was
Nighttime.
kind of like I
That's
did
when
daytime,
I saw
he
you
did
walking the
nighttime.
dog, I'm like, who's this tooling around our neighborhood?
Yeah.
It's like Nick.
I had some complaints about people thinking I was putting
Imagine that.
putting
So
mail
was it-
in the. Yeah, they thought I was
Oh,
putting mail in the
please.
mailboxes. I'm like, hi, I'm part of your HOA. I'm actually just, working for you guys in your contest, Don't mind me. What, 18th? Let me put that in my calendar.
So we can do that, and then if
I
you
mean,
get,
we don't have to have it done before Christmas, do we? I mean, it'd be nice, but we don't have to. We just have to have it before the 1st, right?
it's
We don't have
Christmas.
time.
You want to
Yeah.
put on there. We'll announce the winners. They're probably not going to get their gift cards until sometime
Oh,
after
yeah.
New Year, but
Yeah.
we can announce it on the 25th because we'll have because that
I'm
gives
just
me 2
thinking,
days.
Make sure you have time.
Yeah, it shouldn't be that hard now because they're going to replicate what we have for Halloween, throw that page up there. I'm the one who loaded all the pictures. So that didn't take too long once everything got ironed out. And the voting was easy enough. I just got to make sure Converge can get me, because I can't see the voting. I have to wait for Jorge to send me the,
Oh,
because it's on the
gotcha, yeah.
back end of their system. So I'm like, okay, and he'll do it because he did it special on Halloween. I was texting with him, so I'll just get that set up with him. But that'll give us 2 days buffer to get it pushed out. And even if it's slipped by a day to the 21st.
If you can, send out a preview, because remember I found out that Avalon wasn't able to be voted,
Mhm.
or was it something like that? Like
Yeah, it
one
was
of
the
that's-
security
yeah.
set.
One of the,
Yeah.
there
Well,
was something that we couldn't vote on.
Yeah,
so
and that was easy enough. That was a quick fix, but that I can do that.
just shoot out a quick.
Yeah, because I'll have more lead time with them now since we've already done this once.
Okay,
Versus
right.
I was just trying
Yeah,
to push
that
it as
was the
fast as
first,
possible
yeah.
because we're running behind.
Yeah.
And then we'll announce the winners in the traditional Twitter and email from MailChimp. Wish everybody Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and Happy New
Yeah.
Year type of thing.
We should also post the postcard on Twitter,
Yes.
because I don't think we did that with the Halloween
Okay.
that's a good idea.
photo.
All
How
right.
many Twitter followers do we have?
Actually, I am on Twitter. Let me see.
Oh yeah. you should-
We have 50 followers of the Turtle Creek HOA.
Oh, okay, good.
Yep.
Hmm.
What's Twitter?
Um,
I Nice.
So don't laugh.
Hashtag idiot.
Yeah.
Do you,
Live
Hashtag-
under a rock.
do you
Hashtag
in your
ancient old man.
newsletters that go out, you should probably reference Twitter, that if people want updates.
Yeah, I put it
Do
in the
you?
last one, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I put it, you go to the website or Twitter,
Yeah.
because either one, you know, I'm not, somebody asked for a
I
hard
should see,
copy.
I know I'm following the HOA guru, but I don't know that I'm following.
Yeah, I think you are.
Am I? I have to go look and see.
So I think if we're good with the dates, we can lock those down, and
Yeah,
then.
this is
I think
all the
we're good
information I
from-
need.
Yeah, we're good from, and Nick will get the final stuff and just drop
Yeah, I
it
just
in.
sent it over to Leland mailroom to give her
Okay.
the heads up, so.
Yeah, by the latest, probably Tuesday,
Okay.
That's
okay?
good. I'll
And that's
work it
the
in.
latest. I'll try and get it Friday, Monday, but I'm saying, like, if work stuff comes up Tuesday, you'll have it.
Well,
This
let me
Friday?
know what, if, do you need me to run any errands?
No,
or
to
anything?
get
I can
it to
run
him,
up
he'll
to-
drop it at
Oh,
Leland.
okay.
Yeah, I'll get it to
Monday, maybe
Just let me
Tuesday.
know if I could,
Okay.
you know, if
Which
you need
gives
me to
them
run it up
mailroom
to
time
Office
to
Depot
slot
or
it in
whatever.
I think we're
Wednesday.
doing
I mean, I'm gonna be, I
Yeah.
usually
Yeah.
work
Sure,
in
most
the
people
area of
Yeah.
Office Depot,
Okay.
so I'll just stop by there.
I'm not working, I know that.
It's getting over
Yeah.
there because most of my work is on the west side, so
Oh,
it's
okay.
getting it to you guys.
Sure,
Because you're
sure,
on the
sure.
east side, I work on the west
Right,
side.
right,
So
right.
I'll do my best. If anything, I may ask
Help
for
me,
some help.
yeah.
I'll ask
Okay,
for
yeah, I
someone to
can do
drive it
that.
out.
I can drive it out, just let me know.
All right,
Um,
sounds good. Good job,
all
social
good.
committee.
I got the info.
Thank you.
Yep.
Final item of that is our traditional holiday bonus for our access control staff. So I put down who we have up there: Alan, Denicius, Carmelo, Gene, and Ben. I forget if that's his name, McNabb or not. I'll confirm
I
that.
met Ben.
Huh?
I mean, how
McNabb.
long has Ben been here?
Not long.
Oh, okay, that's why. I don't
Alan
know.
owes us a new holiday schedule anyways.
Oh, okay, because I don't know Ben.
Yeah, I've seen him. He's been filling in on odd shifts and whatnot. So.
Oh,
but
I
he-
think, yeah, I
yeah.
think I've seen him once or twice. Didn't we have another woman as well? Did she leave already?
No, she was a substitute when
Oh, she
Carmela
was a
took
substitute.
PTO because she's a captain at another post, so they just put her
Yeah.
into there.
Okay, cool.
Okay,
So basically, you've got, I mean, last year, you can see from 2016, 17, and I just dropped in numbers for 18. You know, for the 40 hours a week, they've been here a while. We've obviously done the full, 450. I just said, maybe we do 500.
Yeah.
On that, and then Gene, since he had 150 last year, because I know he wasn't here that long, and we did that for like even Mark when they weren't here that long. You still get something 150,
Yeah.
but since he's been here the whole year, but he's not the full 40. I said, why don't you just do 300 on him?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Type of
he's-
thing,
And he's doing good too.
Yeah,
he's
he's-
catching on. Yeah.
And then since Ben has been here a short time, we would do 150 like we
Yeah.
traditionally do.
Mhm.
So.
Sounds good to me. Those all look good.
I mean, is
When
that-
did
numbers.
Ben
Good.
start? Maybe we should do him 200.
No,
Just bump it
I mean,
up.
He
No?
only started what, 3 months ago?
Yeah, I don't think he
Oh,
started that
okay.
long.
Okay.
Yeah.
He hasn't done a full year.
Okay.
I mean, I
Let's
don't
not
even
give
think he's
him-
done a full
let's not
6
give him-
months.
Okay.
That's
But yeah,
great.
we'll look into it next year.
Geez, I'll take a
Yeah.
$50 a month bonus any day of the
Yeah.
week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Let's just make sure he stays, because we have a lot of guards that sometimes come in and then.
I know.
Yeah.
Even Alan says it sometimes, the way
Frustrating.
we get in and out, he says, he wishes that now, they went over with a new company, didn't they?
Yeah,
It's now a new company.
they merged or somebody
Yeah.
bought them.
So they're hoping that that'll be better, but it used to be switching in and out too much.
But
for-
I can
for
tell you,
Alan.
no matter the name on the uniform, all security access control stuff is about the same. That's the
Yeah.
thing. I mean, there's no market difference between U.S. Security or whoever they are, Universal,
Yeah.
whatever, versus Allied, versus ADT, versus whoever you see,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Hopefully the administration
Well,
side is
and the
better.
employees probably switch
Mhm.
around too.
Yeah.
But it is definitely worth it for us to have that consistency, right?
Yeah.
So doing something like this helps
Agreed.
keep that, right?
Yeah, no, I think especially, and that's why we like to get it, I think we pulled this back. The first year on the board, we didn't hand out the bonus checks till 2 days before Christmas,
Oh,
which
geez.
kind of defeats that's why we wanted to pull it back to November, because I can
Yeah.
get Leland to print the checks, I'll pick them up and give it to him.
Yeah, yeah.
So you can use it for whatever you want in the holidays.
Sure.
That type of thing.
Yeah, that'd be helpful.
Yeah.
Doesn't help if you get a bonus, I could have really used that a week ago.
Sure.
I mean, how many of us have said that before? Like,
Well,
thanks.
actually,
Yeah.
the reality is that they're just paying the credit card
Yeah.
bill, right?
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Are you gonna?
Yeah, I'll make the motion to approve the holiday bonus schedule for our access control staff as presented.
I'll second that one.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Right, you still with us?
Yes.
All right, are you good on the bonus stuff for the guards?
Yes.
All right,
Yes.
that was unanimous.
Yes.
All right, so that finishes that out. I will turn it over to our homeowner and the homeowner forum. If you'd
If you
like
have anything
anything
to
to talk
say.
about, have anything on your mind, or?
Oh, no, I just like
Oh.
to keep up with what's happening.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
yeah.
That
I'm
works.
a happy camper.
We didn't get blamed for anything this week, that's
Yeah.
good.
Yes, it's a good day.
Hey.
So,
Great day.
I'll open it to the board. Anything from the board we didn't cover?
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, very good.
Yeah.
All right, so if there's nothing else, I'll make the motion to adjourn our meeting at 7:40 PM. Do I have a second?
Sure, second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, meeting adjourned. Thank you, Raid, appreciate it.
Thank you.